Okay, then the next drill we'll do the trapping disarms. Right, this is one that we're doing. So Nina's being the attacker. We're doing the 12 count striking set, and this one has a freestyle counterattack. But the principle of it is that you're always doing a trapping disarm, meaning that wherever her arm is, we always think of her wrist as being a rectangle here with the 2 longer lines and 2 shorter lines, and that you're touching the punio or the same length above the punio, so like 1.5 inches below your pinky and 1.5 inches above your thumb, like you've just got a little stick this size with the same amount above and below your hand, and you can touch any part of the rectangle with either part of that, right? And that, as long as that's trapped there, again, that's why it's called a trapping disarm, because the stick isn't really doing anything, it's just trapping the wrist in place. When Lee and I did this, the word I used was a wall, right? So that might make it easier to figure out what's going on. So whatever Nina does, she could be swinging her stick around, as long as you get in here and see how I just hit her wrist and happen to be on the inside of it with this part of my stick, I now created a wall there. So how would I do the disarm? It would be that way, right? So wherever you land, it creates a little wall that their wrist can't move around. For an instant, right? They can reverse it, they can get out of it, and you've created a wall that they can get through, and then you pull the stick the other way, right? So again, it's always going to depend on where she ends up and where you end up. Again, I end up there, so I know that she can't go that way, so where do I pull the stick? That way, right? You always pull it into the wall, because that's where her bones are jammed, right? You go where it doesn't move any farther. So that's the principle, right? So that's the fun thing of this one is wherever you can put it anywhere, you don't have to, it doesn't matter if it's tip up or tip down, or using the punio or the, okay, here we go. Number 1, trapping disarm. I'm going to go low for this first one. Again, you could go low, high, or whatever. Here I trap the wrist here, so I'm going to go this way. Again, it's generally going towards your stick. Sometimes you'll be pulling out, but usually you're circling it. So the tip will have that look like it's doing, like it's making a circular motion. Number 2, normal left lead stance, normal open block. You always start with the full blocking set. And you go to I could do a pass here, right? So I'm going to grab her thumb really hard and flip her stick that way. As I do that, I'm slashing under, and I use my punio to catch her wrist. This is one we do right in some of the forms. And I've already got her stick here. So I could pull it this way. It'll probably work. I could pull it out, which might work. But again, better to go towards my stick, towards where the wall is. I know she can't go there. So even though I got this reverse grip, I can still. I don't have, because you don't have to pull it that far, right? So even though that was a little awkward for me, it still came out easily because her thumb has such a short range of motion from that position. 3, I'm going to go high on 3. And I just feed the punio right in, and it's the same one I just did, but just not upside down, just like a regular version of it. Oh, let's take it, actually. This will start closer to me. Your hands to be bigger. I'm going to go plancha here. I'm going to come up and catch here. When Lee and I did this the other day, we talked about how, like on this one, this would be better, except for I'm pulling the stick towards myself, right? There's a good chance, especially when you're doing it like full speed and kind of wild, like you're sparring with someone, that you're just going to hit yourself in the face with their stick. So you always want to be pulling the stick towards them. So this is a little more awkward, so I kind of got to pull it twisty like that. But you can see it actually worked pretty good. And it comes out because again, it's the way that you're going around their fingers and their thumb where they lose their grip right away if you have it set up right. 5, we do a downward diagonal and upward diagonal. Usually it's better if you go horizontal, and I place the punio right under her, right? Her wrist is like this, and I place it like that. So the wall is right under it. She now can't go down. She can go up to get out of it, except for she can't, right? My forearm blocks it. So a lot of times you're making a sandwich with the punio and your forearm. So you're making 2 walls. And so I just trapped her from underneath. She can't go down. She can kind of go up, but she's going to bang into my forearm. She's just got like a centimeter of space there. And so the way to get out would be to pull that way, right? But I'm pulling it the other way. So if she does pull that way, it kind of makes the disarm work better. So that's the idea of that. Okay, those are weird and fancy. Weird and fancy. Don't have to be weird and fancy. slash, boom, boom, boom. Or two, you might hit him in the belly a couple times, you might hit him in the knee a couple times. So a lot of times you're setting up the disarm so they don't see it coming. You don't want to go like this and like kind of think about it because then she'll reverse it, right? She'll pull out of it. You've only got that second. So a lot of times you'll hit them first, they're kind of, oh, they're trying to block their other leg, and then you go, boom, I got it. I got it underneath her wrist. I know she can't go that way, so I pull the stick that way. So that was a tricky one too. So you can see how there, when she came in, I blocked and checked. I whitticked her in the wrist to get to my spot, and then rotate the camera. And yep. And so when I pull out the stick, I'm just going straight into her face. That's a good. You can set up that way. That's a good thing. Yeah, that was our 10-minute go. I got it on our 5-minute. Okay. I'm going to go vertical strike. I'm going to come up. Again, I'm going to go over the top here and then go right towards my own stick. And the normal way. Boom. Boom. Still doing an X to distract her, so I have a second to kind of think about how you do the disarm. And again, sometimes it's just that, usually it's that the strikes lead you to the disarm. Right? I'm maybe trying to hit her here, and I'm thinking, oh, there it is, I'm right by her wrist, so I push into the wrist tight, and then rotate towards my stick. That's the main way to do it. I've got this wall here. I'm going against her hand and her thumb, where it's really hard to. Okay, so Nina will be the attacker, 1 through 12. We'll just do this for 5 minutes. So again, really try to think about how the block works. We'll just go probably 1 through 12 right, which I won't use another time.
1.